Have we covered Jason Momoa on
No,
our?
I do
Okay,
not
so
think so.
yeah, I don't think so either. So this is the first time. I mean, he's been in action movies. He's Aquaman, and he's done some fight choreography. I know he has a TV show, like where he's done a bunch of fight scenes. People always cite. I just can't remember multiple TV shows actually, and then Dave Bautista also in a bunch of action movies as well. I can't remember if we've specifically called him out either. So this might be like one of the first times talking about both of them together, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah. It's usually the muscle bound dudes are either they're solo or they are a sidekick to a smaller dude. And this time
or they're
it's
like
two big dudes.
Or they're like the final boss, right?
Or
Because
the
they're so
final boss,
big. Yeah. Like we don't have these like 80s action star sized protagonists too often in martial arts films. I think famously, who is it? Marcus Aurora said like it's hard for him to find people to fight against at the end because he's so big, right? So then when you see Jason Momoa and you see Dave Bautista, it's like, who are they gonna get to fight him in the end? Because they're like the biggest dudes.
Okay, ooh, easy, it's sharp.
Whoa. I wasn't not expecting anything of this movie for action. And at times it's okay. Like at times it's just okay. And sometimes it's like, wow, this is great. That opening scene is amazing. It's wonderful.
Awesome. Yeah, it's
a great fight scene.
A really good fight scene. I was really surprised as well, considering that it's Jason Momoa yucking it up again, kind of being an arrogant asshole while fighting these Yakuza guys. And they are destroying his home while they're doing it. But it's brutal fight choreography. It's really nicely done.
There's the little bickering or fight that they have with one another in the parking lot. That one's not an intent to kill, but it's very, very down to earth. I got glimpses of like They Live.
Yeah,
when I was thinking of when I was watching it.
Hey, motherfucker! What the?
The They Live feeling I got from it was like kind of kind of nice because it was not overly flashy, and that's the thing. Like neither one of these performers are super agile, so they do a lot of let's say like bigger movements, simpler movements, but the choreography is built around what they can do, which is what you want. That's what you want in an action movie with fight scenes. You need to think around what the performers can do. Don't sub them in. Don't have a stunt double Dave Bautista doing a triple axe kick. All right, you can't have him.
You mean you don't want a stunt double subbing in for Jacob Batalon and doing parkour down a building? I mean that's for comedy though. That was pretty funny. Yeah.
Hey, suck my bottle, you fucker!
I like that fight a lot. Not so much for the choreography, but because the characters are reaching that head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Before they reconcile, and it became very personal, became very emotional. So all the hits are not meant to look beautiful. They're just throwing each other on the concrete
in the rain. Yeah.
In the rain. But you know what I love? I love the prosthetics in that scene because Dave Bautista keeps punching Jason Momoa in the eye, and they made the eye swell with blood. I was like, wow, that looks really good. Like you don't see that too often in movies. It's like, oh, well, they just do the red. But they were making his eyes swell with blood. And I was like, damn, that's a really good prosthetic. Or I hope he didn't really get punched in the eye.
Of course not. Aquaman is not taking that from anybody. Yeah, I mean, there's a later scene where it's clearly an homage to Old Boy, which it's of Dave Bautista. Like this is very late in the movie, but Dave Bautista is going down a hallway. I mean, it's the Old Boy hallway,
I mean, it's very evident it's supposed to be Old Boy too, because it's the long one take.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
definitely not Dave
think
Bautista.
That's him. No,
yeah,
definitely not. It's so dark.
Him.
It's so dark, and it could literally be anybody.
Yeah, it's a shame because they finally cut to a different angle, and then it's him taking on the guys. I would have just preferred if it was him going down the hallway, smashing them up.
Sure.
But I get it. They're making homages to stuff they like. Didn't do much for me, honestly, just because I mean, you and I, we know these things are like, as soon as you see the hallway, you're just like, Old Boy. Yeah. And then like it takes me out of it personally. I just wish people would stop doing that. Like, because it's Old Boy is so iconic. Like, I don't want, I don't want an homage to it.
Heads on the ground, legs and meds on the ground. Your whole house is surrounded like the feds on the ground. This is fatal. Whirlwind, human tornado.
Outside of that, I don't remember a lot. Nothing else was like super memorable about the movie, like, or at least like stayed with me.
Yeah. So I'll say the final villains for both characters, they were fine, nothing memorable, but at least they put up a fight, right? You would think because Dave Bautista and Jason Momoa are so big, when you have smaller adversaries, it might feel like, well, what's the point? But at least, like the weapons fight with Dave Bautista is like, okay, there's a lot of variety there. He is struggling a little bit because he's not a weapons guy. So like, I'll give it there.
Yeah.
And then the final guy, I can't say who because it would be a spoiler, but the final guy who fights Jason Momoa, I didn't think he would fight because he doesn't look physically intimidating, but because he's smaller and thinner, he was able to use his agility against Jason Momoa. So I was like, okay, I get that. I get it. It wasn't a good fight, but sure, we need this final confrontation.
But the believability of Dave Bautista going up against Miyavi would be a lot more like, well, like, oh, you don't know what's going to happen. And feel a lot more dire if we set up that like this small dude is a menace earlier on, right? So like, I would like to see like Miyavi have an earlier fight scene where it's just like mowing someone down, like really set him up as like a proper fighter. Because once he actually fights, because once he fights Dave Bautista at the end, like, well, this is our first and only fight with Miyavi, so Dave Bautista outweighs him by like 120 pounds. So
well, that's what I meant. So it became a weapons fight. So it became a little more believable for me because Dave Bautista is not a weapons guy. So I was like, okay, I'll give that one a pass a little bit.
Right.
But like you mentioned, an earlier fight scene with Miyavi where maybe he takes on like a much bigger guy to sell us on the fact that that size doesn't matter, I think would have been great.
Oh,
to that point.
Absolutely.
Frogman, did you miss me?
So yeah, that's our quickish review of Wrecking Crew. I think it's okay. It's an easy weekend watch kind of thing. I have nothing else to say about it. It's better than most. That's my glowing review. It's better than most, I'd say, for a movie.
A January action film, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Good way to start the year, especially because the first action scene is actually really nicely done. And I was really surprised by it. So I'll give the movie that much credit. I appreciate, so this takes place in Hawaii. This is a Hawaiian tale revolving around Hawaiian culture. As an adjacent island person, I always appreciate when they put that kind of stuff in. So if you're interested in this sort of the cultural aspect, not just this being a generic hard-boiled cocktail, but they do try and weave in stuff around like the Hawaiian people and their current plight going on in the government and all that stuff. It's like, okay, yeah, it all works, and it's fine.
Helicopter.